Nasia here, also known as Keto Jamaican Girl. For those of you who are part of the Goodie crew, for those of you who have not yet joined, go ahead and click that subscribe button because you don't want to miss out on the content here. On this channel, I share my keto tips, my keto tricks, and delicious keto recipes. We don't eat the same thing every day. We just can't. We can't because we're trying to stay on our grind and keeping it interesting. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Now with that out the way, guys, we need to talk. We need to talk. We need to talk. Go and get your keto snack, get something healthy, and come and sit down. Don't bring the tea because I have it. Guys, we hit what we're about to hit. We didn't hit it yet, but we're close. We're close. Guys, we are about to hit 1,000 Goodie crew members strong. When I say I am so overwhelmed by the support from all of my Goodie crew members, I just want to say thank you. Well, no, we're not gonna do the speech yet. We're not gonna do the award ceremony yet because we have not hit 1,000 yet. But when we do, we need to celebrate. So what I need from you guys is some advice. I want to know how to celebrate this momentous occasion. I'm going to ask you guys to comment below some questions or some topics that you think would be best for me to discuss during that live. I'm gonna bring my food, that whatever keto food I cook that day, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna eat it with you guys, and we're gonna chat, get to know each other a little better, because this is just exciting that we're growing and we're growing so fast. So yes, please comment below, let me know what topic that you think would be best for us to sit down, vibe out, and do a live. I'm also going to have some giveaways during that live, so that's some incentive for us to, you know, get together and get this together quick so that we can, you know, celebrate this. I don't want to say accomplishment because I haven't made it yet, but just celebrate this because this is really cool. I never expected to hit 1,000 followers or to have our Goodie crew be 1,000 strong so fast. So thank you guys. Continue liking, continue watching the videos all the way through, continue commenting and giving me advice and sharing. Some of you have come back and let me know you tried the recipes and you like it and what you added and this and that. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the feedback. You guys are what is making this channel successful. So thank you so much. Wait, I'm not doing the thank yous yet because it's not the award time yet. It's not award ceremony time yet. But go ahead and comment below. Give me some advice about how to celebrate the 1K when we hit it. Now we're going to head into our what I eat in a day, and I'll talk to you more at the end of the video. 1,000! We're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. Okay, so it's about 12:30 and I'm starting off my day with some sardine fritters, some keto-friendly sardine fritters. I know when you hear sardine you get a little nervous, but please believe these are going to be absolutely delicious. You must try this before you knock it. What they say, don't knock it before you try it. Yeah. So I had some sardine and hot sauce and some regular sardines. So what I'm going to do is mash those up with my fork as I'm doing here. Next, I'm going to prepare my vegetables. So I'm going to cut up my green peppers first, and I'm not going to use the whole green pepper. I'm just going to use about 1/4 of it, and I'm going to cut that up into bite-sized pieces. Next, I'm going to cut up my tomatoes, and I'm going to take the pits out of those because I don't want my batter to be watery. So I just make sure to take the pit out, but I'll still get some of the freshness of the taste of the tomato. It appears that I lost some footage, but I also cut up some scallion or green onion. I cut up about 2 of those, and that was some of the veggies that you're seeing here in the bowl. Now that our sardine is prepped and our vegetables are prepped, we're just going to combine those 2 elements together, and then we're going to go ahead and add our egg. I had 6 eggs. What I usually do is use about 3 eggs to each can of sardine that I use, and that usually makes a sufficient batter to make enough of the fritters for my entire family. So now I'm adding some garlic powder. You know, we got to put that in everything for some flavor. And I'm being generous because the garlic is what's going to temper the fishy taste. Next, I'm going to add some black pepper because, you know, we have to give it a little kick, a little spice. And then I'm going to add some seasoned salt just to give it just a little bit more salt in addition to the hot sauce that it was already in. Last, I'm going to add some turmeric, about 1 teaspoon, for a little bit of color and flavor and health. So now I'm going to mix that all up, and then we head to the frying pan. Now I'm going to use this Pam cooking spray. It has olive oil in it. I bought this in one of my keto grocery hauls. If you haven't checked out my keto grocery hauls, please go ahead and check those out. I give some of my recipe ideas in there as well. And once the oil is hot, I'm going to add scoops of our batter that we made to the pan. And the pan is in between medium and high heat. You don't want it to burn, but you just want it to cook quickly, like you're frying it almost. And I'm not using a lot of oil because I don't want to overdo it with the oil. So now I'm going to flip it over when I see that the bottom has been cooked. You see the brown at the bottom there. You see that it's well cooked. So I'm going to flip it over to let the remainder of the egg cook properly. And I'll just continue doing that until my batter is finished. And this is how they look for the most part while you're frying them. And the house smells amazing because of all of our seasoning and all of that. And this is how they look when they were all fried up, and I added some green onion on top. Now these fritters can be eaten as is. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to eat anything with them, but sometimes what I do is I eat them with the Mission low carb wraps, the white ones. It tastes like, if you're Jamaican, you know about hardo bread. It tastes like you're eating it with hardo bread. So if you want something to eat with it, try it with the Mission low carb wraps, but I'm just going to eat these by itself today. So I'm feeling a little snackish. I'm not starving. I'm just feeling like I could use a little snack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snack on some veggies and some cheese. And I'm going to be using this Chipotle aioli sauce that I got from Walmart. I included it in one of my grocery hauls. You can see here that the carbs are perfect. The ingredients aren't too bad either. I really love this aioli sauce. So I cut up about 3 baby cucumbers and I use about 2 sticks of cheese there. And I'm going to dip that in my sauce and enjoy this as a little snack until dinner. It's dinner time, and tonight we're going to be making some fried pork chops, but we're going to be doing it keto style. So first we're going to season our meat so it can marinate for at least an hour. The first seasoning I'm using is all-purpose seasoning. You guys know I use this on all of my meats. If you want to know which one I use, I'll link it below. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add some seasoning salt. I use the, I think this is called Tony's. I can link that below as well if you're interested. Next, I'm going to add some garlic powder just to kick up the flavor and add more full flavor to our meat. And I ran out of my garam masala, guys. I was so devastated, but I used cumin instead. And next, I'm going to add some paprika also to make up for the lack of garam masala. I'm just so upset that I let the thing finish and didn't buy it back. But now I'm going to add some oil so that I can massage the seasoning into the meat. So I'm finally going to be using protein powder to fry one of my meats. The Goodie crew has been pushing me to do it, and I'm finally going to be testing it out now on my pork chops. So if it doesn't turn out well, you can go and blame the members of the Goodie. I'm joking. So the first thing you want to do is season your protein powder. It has no flavor, so it's going to have whatever flavor you give it. So I'm going to put some all-purpose seasoning and also some seasoning salt, and here I'm adding some cayenne pepper just to give it a little kick. I can't add too much because the kids are going to be eating this as well. Now this part is important. You have to mix up the protein powder and the seasoning very well, or you're going to have pieces of your meat that don't have any flavor. So make sure you get the seasoning into the protein powder absolutely well. And I will link the protein powder below. You have to make sure it's whey protein isolate. You can't just use any protein powder. So yeah, I'm going to mix this up and make sure that I put time and effort into making sure it's mixed perfectly so that the breading can actually mimic flour. Next, I'm going to scramble up 2 eggs and a little bit of heavy whipping cream because this is going to help our flour or our protein powder bind to our pork chops as we're making these fried pork chops. So mix that up very well so that you don't have any yolk still intact, and then we're going to go ahead and use it to prepare our fried pork chops. So now I'm going to dip my seasoned, you see it's well seasoned there, it's marinated for some time. I'm dipping it into the egg, and then I'm going to go ahead and dip it into our what do you want to call this? Our breading, our mimic, our keto breading. Yes, that's what we're going to call it. We're dipping it into our keto breading. So I learned here that using my hands to do it is not a great idea, because as I was doing that, the breading was sticking to my fingers. So I had to go ahead and switch to using my fork, and that helped the breading to stay onto it and not come off as I was trying to get it on. And you see I have wax paper on my plate. As I'm letting the breading rest onto the meat, I put it onto wax paper so that we don't lose breading in the process. If you have parchment paper, that would actually be better. So I'm gonna go ahead and bread the rest of our pieces here, and then I'm going to head over to our frying pan and get these beautiful thick pieces of pork chop fried up in our hot oil. Now it's time to fry up the pork chops. So like I told you before, I had my oil prepped and hot and ready, and now I'm going to add our breaded pork chops to the oil, and we're going to let those cook. Make sure you cook your meat properly, guys. Don't take it and flip it over too quickly, or else your pork chops will not cook in the center, especially if you're using thick pieces like these. I got these at Sam's for a really great price too, but they're very thick, and I just want to make sure that they're cooked through properly. So don't have your heat too high, and make sure you give each side enough time to cook through. I'm really impressed by how similar the breading is to actual flour. It's really looking and smelling like, you know, regular fried meat. So I'm looking forward to tasting it. So this is how our fried pork chops came out. I made some cauliflower mash. If you want the recipe for that, I will link it above and below. So please go ahead and check that out. But the taste was spot on. I do prefer, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I do prefer using my pork rinds and my Parmesan cheese as my breading for fried foods. But this was okay. This was a close second. So yeah, give it a try if you're interested. So that's my what I eat in a day. Thank you for sticking with me all the way to the end. And once again, don't forget to comment below some topics that you want us to discuss in my first live video celebrating 1K when we hit it. I need some advice, guys, so make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll talk more in the comments. See you in my next video. Bye.